right now, of course, as map number 1 always starts off on domination as we get to started.
Absolutely. Here we head into the pick and ban phase. We're on Wakanda. You know, it's Krakoa show, Vicky, group stage. Now it's all about Wakanda here, map 1.
Okay. Get a little bit of a different change up out here too. Seeing the Magneto being saved up. No Emma Frost from either side as they prioritize the torch ban here.
Yeah, so we saw that kind of in Sentinels, right? When they were kind of aiming, trying to get rid of Speedery. Well, same thing now, but over to the hands of Tara and Delina. Now, looking at the bans here, the respect shown. Wolverine, Doomed is not going to get that access. We saw that, I think, done by, I believe, FlyQuest when they went against them here. And now both teams looking... Okay, it got the Punisher too, so they're aiming. Okay, you know who did this exact thing is Nemesis. I misspoke. Nemesis blocked everything that Shroud had in the duelist department, and we saw the play difference. This is like right out of that textbook.
Taking some notes here. No Wolverine out here. The safe, though, on the Cloak and Dagger instead. So that's going to be those 2 priority safety picks. While they try to ponder, yep, it's going to be the next Torch here. The Torch being a problem on its own, whether it be Tara being on that cracked Wolverine player, the Torch too, where energy from FlyQuest said that Tara was a whole problem on this team. That's where they want to lean into while protecting the Loki.
Yeah, when you sweep a team, you know, and we just saw that happen with Nemesis to Shroud X, you know, they're definitely, this is okay. This is definitely going to be interesting here. I like the strange ban there, you know, unable to get the portal back to win those fights. But yeah, listen, this is the same homework that we saw, right? From Nemesis to Shroud X, same game plan going in. And this time Shroud X, they're going to go to the triple res. So if you if you want some more triple res, you got it.
All right, Impunity, maybe seeing some change-ups in general because you're playing off against the best root in the world right now. TTK not having that Doctor Strange, though, opting to go over to Magneto. We know that TTK could be flexible on their own course, but no Doctor Strange, no desperate portal touch to keep that point on.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one for the ages here, and I'm curious to see how these teams adapt and kind of get themselves together. Shroud X, they play a very good triple res comp as we look at, honestly, 26% is massive for Shroud X. I thought it could have been one more way, but I've got to say, Shroud X, they're always kind of talking about not winning the big one. This is one of the biggest ones that they could ever win here on the biggest stage of Rivals as we head into Wakanda yet again. Yeah, triple res though, Vic, they play very well.
Yeah, because then at the end of the day here, the team that ends up winning will be able to move on to face off the winner of Team Nemesis and Ego Death. And you know that run back opportunity is lingering over their heads. Getting this started, though, the Doctor Strange portal plays from Dogman as Shroud X can take advantage of this.
Look at Doomed on the Moon Knight. Ladies and gentlemen, attention, we've got a Moon Knight sighting. Khonshu going out with the Ankh right away. Vision with the quick pick on Harvey is going to open up this fight insanely well for Shroud X.
This is not a drill. Khonshu is definitely smiling, increasing that base health from 250 to 275 here on the other side. All right, well, you know what? Got me excited out here, but at least just trying to make the difference as 100 Thieves now just try to look at Shroud X, who have been able to claim this point first.
Look at that homework done. That was so awesome. They were able to get the quick Khonshu elimination, and then they get back out into what they wanted with the triple res comp now as SJP, as Loki. They got a Mischief trying to keep his team alive, and gets that copy over, and look how fast that ult came as now we've got the Eternal Bonds coming out.
Turn from both sides, this time onto Fidel too, to just keep everybody alive here in the strangling prison, but you have to worry about the damage output from these walls. They get rid of it just as quickly, and TTK is about to have that meteor. Here comes Sarah though, looking at the face of the meteor. The protection now comes instead, not only from the Magneto shield, but from the bubble too. Tara continuously is the problem as they find Doom and Impunity.
The final just judgment that Tara can pop out with this hero, but Vision, there it is, putting on the Kurova show with the Born Again, getting the team back. Again, you got to play perfect, especially on Dom, but 100 Thieves, they're the team that can do it at the helm of Tara. We've got Legendary going up, TTK popping that bubble, and they are able to respond to that Legendary very well as the cleanup happens, and they only get the trade on Tara.
Delena also finding a lot more of this damage output too on the Hella Vinny. Follows up finding 2K themselves and are still able to turn this point back around.
Yeah, this is a tough match to play Star-Lord. You've got Hella right there for the flank damage. Tara able to spit out as well. TTK, one of the best there on controller especially. And Vinny has that group hug. Look at them. They're ready to go. He's ready to ult. He's just trying to see if they're taking high ground, maybe low ground. We've got Delena right there with them. And Tara, the team is playing locked in together.
Say group hug. Cute but dangerous out here. The way that group just groups you all together to follow for a possible wombo combo. Terror slowly approaching that Judgment too. Dogman now on the other side. Gonna be able to try to approach with Shroud X up on this high ground.
Yeah, again, we say a hero of few words, but the ult speaks volumes here as Doom now on the Bucky. I like the swap up from the triple res. Was not working for them, so they are changing up their strategy. They don't have a lot to pick from. A lot of their comfort picks are not available. And now we've got Fidel with the Fate of Both Worlds. That's going to give him plenty of momentum. Vinny hanging on to that ult for quite a while.
They're playing peekaboo around the other side, and they heard the footsteps. Terra getting out of that position up on high ground in the turret and was able to just flex around to the other side close together with Delena, as well as the cloak and dagger from Harvey, who's about to have the eternal bond. The group hug, as you mentioned here, together, the wall put up. The Fate of Both Worlds just to keep them alive as Terra tries to burst damage through this with the Judgment.
Perfect wall placement and awesome ult usage. It was Vinny with the ult, but Impunity is the one that gets the finish now. Impunity using the ult as well. We've got the Kraken impact to follow. This looks like it's going to easily be Shroud X's fight to win here. 50%, 90% on the point now, and they're going to be able to take this back.
It's good though, no stall and not a lot of utility use while they still stay on this point, still stalling for as long as possible as it already approaches 99%.
Yeah, that was quite, again, kind of like Envy, that mid-match adjustment that we're seeing here from Shroud X. You know, triple res wasn't going horrible, but now they've swapped over to what works great for them. Vision is one of the few that can match Delena, especially in levels of skill on Hela, so look for that matchup of the gods, the goddess of death going at it here. TTK has that meteor. We've seen this guy get 2, 3, 4 elims with it at one time, especially on this map. He's great on this point.
This is the time though as Terra opens up the floodgates with the Judgment. Some protection coming in from TTK as Delena comes into the skies on the goddess of death. They try to hide behind the sliver of cover that is that Groot wall. And now the dance off is happening here too. Fidel's slowly approaching, by the way, the Fate of Both Worlds, but it's Nook that helps keep Shroud X covered with the insurance policy. And SJP has been finding a lot of these picks here too within the first initial engagements too, as SJP also is able to get the reflect and the reset.
Great job from Shroud X surviving that, because honestly the pressure pushed them off the point. They responded perfectly as Dogman comes down with the Eye of Agamotto. Up in the sky we have Vision's ult ready to come, but Terra, he's the man with the final judgment. He speaks volumes. This guy can farm ults like nobody's business, and just like that, even with stuff in the tank, unable to get 100 Thieves off. Too much pressure, especially at the hands of Terra. Vicky, I'm asking, is this final judgment just an ability for him? Like, how does he get that so far?
At this point, it may as well be. I'm not gonna lie, like seeing Terra alone on this Punisher single-handedly made me such a fan that I have been practicing Punisher for like the last week, and seeing Judgment come up all like as quick as we just saw right there highlights that Terra's damage output is crazy. In one round alone, 20.9k damage on the board. That's why you saw 2 Punisher ults in basically less than a minute.
Man, makes it look easy. Need Dogman here. Well, doing okay there as far as everything around the board. It's tough because Shroud X, they adjusted very well, and in fact, they nearly won that last fight, but Terra just put it into his own hands. I mean, I'm telling you, that guy just lifts a finger and the entire team's eliminated. At the very least, the pressure. Vision, though, you know, the benefit is you're able to have this Goddess of Death ult to open up this next fight, and it's going to open up at the portal.
I'm trying to block out their exit point though before forcing them to wrap around by the glass balcony over to the other side. Vision steals the pick onto SJP though. They literally get jumped, and Shroud X are going to be able to thrive off of this. Is going to build into those ultimate charge as well as them trying to take control of that point first.
Talk about things going from the pro scene to regular play. People are about to start copying these portals into these Moon Knight. I mean, that is, it's happened twice now. Absolute insane, perfect strategy, and love to see something new here and innovation coming in the form of Shroud X here. Now, Vision and Nuck, we've got both Asgardians with their ults ready to roll, but Harvey going in with the Eternal Bond to start.
And just create the pathing here for the rest of 100 Thieves. The copy as well now coming in just to reiterate the Eternal Bond in favor for Shroud X this time. But this allows 100 Thieves to just linger back, try to enable the Punisher here too, being on that turret. Boots them right off as Vision, you mentioned, having the Goddess of Death first, gets booted out right afterwards here too, because you're looking at TTK on the other side. You have to worry about that meteor instead. You don't want to go out as you're able to find TTK, but it's a trade-off from both sides.
Yeah, Vision was up in the sky for all of one blink of an eye and unable to come down, but does get the pick there on TTK. Terra, though, there it is again. Guys, just count to 5 and it's out with the final judgment. But the pushback from Dongman, beautiful play. There's so much internal bond. It's just like, it's like a kindergarten painting. My goodness.
It's purple all around the floor out here when you try to collapse them together. And that was with SJP being on the Loki, getting the copy in forms of the eternal bond instead, before going right back to the rest of 100 Thieves, but just trying to not stagger here too.
Yeah, you get like 1 millisecond of shield for Doctor Strange. The fact that Dongmin was able to get out Terror with that is really well done. They've got these walls here to protect them that are unbreakable as well. Dongmin has that Eye of Agamotto into the Kraken Impact. They've also got the group to set it up, and they're choosing to go that direction. Here comes the Kraken Impact. They've got to make an impact with it, and unfortunately has to kind of stay with the team.
Oh, but the group hug with the wall right there too just helps them out and just denies that away from impunity as Vision's about to have the Goddess of Death. You jump to the skies, you try it again. You only find Vinny though in the equation as Harvey keeps them alive with the Eternal Bond themselves.
Unfortunate for Shroud. They had everything there to win. They just could not get those ults to combo together. Unfortunately, it just wasting a cracking impact. But look at Doom, 70%. He's built all the way back up. Terra now with that final judgment, and you're going to combine that with Vinny, one of the best groups. It's going to spell disaster as now 100 Thieves is going to claim this point back.
Shish Kebab of the Vanguard lineup, though, actually having a lot more impact with those ultimates in favor for 100 Thieves, but they needed it with the 99% in favor for Shroud X the second round.
These ult charges are going up like milliseconds. It's if you watch it, Doom used Kraken Impact, he has it again. Terra has gotten, I don't know, I lost count at 15 final judgment. It's crazy what they're able to put out here. Terra now just putting on the pressure of the turret. I love the use of space here, just having the team having to act on their feet.
Fortune trying to hide behind that pillar, focus on you instead here, while SJP's positioning on the Loki clone, just trying to help Altera and use it as a way to body block the damage output onto that turret just to enable that positioning here too. While you take a look at Delena just trying to snipe from afar, it's that 1v1 duel versus Vision, but here comes a group hug from the group too. Try to follow up. You have the Eye of Agamotto as well to follow up if you're Dogman now, as a meteor comes in from the high ground off the TTK, but doesn't find its mark.
Great shield there from Dongman, and they have nothing to answer this strategist-wise, but it doesn't matter because Delena is able to get the 1-2 pop, and it's crazy. 100 Thieves, without having the strategist ult until right now, held back every single ult from Shroud X. They pressed every button, and somehow 100 Thieves came out on top.
And that was off of the Eye of Agamotto. Because Delena was not caught in that, it was there in the Goddess of Death, was putting down so much damage output, they couldn't get the follow-up from the Eye of Agamotto. So 100 Thieves now plant their feet on this point and have answers here against Shroud X.
Just they spin everything and they lost everything. I mean, that was insane, including momentum. Now that's 2 back-to-back. I mean, really, the only one to blame is themselves at this moment because it's been handed to them. Just one ult fight left, and they've got the point with 99%. But now 100 Thieves looking to make this a 99 comeback, and they're going to look to get map 1.
Here, Bucky. Doom just trying to get a big initiator pick here, too. Combine that behind Dogman and Impunity. You see the group walls coming up over time now, slowly approaching as Shroud X are trying to retake this point. The group hug over to the other side, though, doesn't find its mark, but it's found Vinny from Doom. Slow but steady as Tiro, with some help from the Eternal Bond, gets to push all the way forward in this final judgment.
Hanging out in the Eternal Bomb, putting on that pressure, but luckily those walls keeping the team alive. Doom now just trying to get the pop off and trying to get that Kraken impact. He's about to go, but TTK has his eyes on the prize here, throws it down, does not connect, but Terra finishes the job on Impunity. Eternal Bond is out, and now at this point, it's just connecting these ults. Can they do it? His third time the charm. Eye of Agamotto out. Kraken impact in. Doom taking down TTK, and not actually still has Kraken impact. Throws it down now, and is able to get potential to reset. He does on Vinny as he escapes, and they get the point, Vicky.
They couldn't get back in. The Kraken impact was creating so much space. Even though they retouched, the reset was right there too. And then the Eye of Agamotto focus on Terra, who had already just got out of that turret form, it looked like. Just focusing down on that backline, preventing the setup from coming in to the Punisher at the very end.
From the brink of collapse. I mean, just incredible job, Shroud X there. Like I said, 3rd time's the charm. You know, the first couple didn't land. That's the one that matters, and they got the job done. 1-1. I mean, God, could these playoffs be any closer, Vicky? This is insane.
This is so good. I'm taking notes. For anybody watching at home right now, we have been watching peak Marvel Rivals play since like 7 p.m. East Coast time. Where have you been? Welcome to the circus, because this is great on taking notes on how to coordinate together as a team to re-engage within your own respective rank games as we get started with our 3rd round on our first map.
Yeah, I felt like we interviewed Flats last week. Like, this has been 4 hours of chaos and not one wanted to show for it. Craziness as we get yet again the portal coming out again. 100 Thieves don't have Doctor Strange. They've been banned from it there. Now they take the high ground here. Little Obi-Wan v Anakin action. Vision throwing in the pokes there from the Thorns. We've got the Vision v Delina show. And right now, Shroud X, even though they used the ults to get the last point, they still have more.
Vision being a bit of a problem right now. We saw that within the 1v1 duel between Delena, who has the Goddess of Death ready to go, as both of these teams just play ring around the rosy behind that one wall of cover.
Dongman 2 is just playing way better this round and not going as aggressive. We've got the Terra ult, the special coming out. He's got the Final Judgment. That cloak bubble can stop a lot, but it can't stop Final Judgment. But what can is going to be... Oh, look at this. Just 1, 2, 3 make it.
The snap is giving me whiplash. Terra just following up from target to target with the target practice out here. Bullseye as it hits its mark. The eternal bond to try to contest that. Keep everybody alive as SJP keeps their feet planted together on this point. And this is important for 100 Thieves too, to just force that stagger as they take out another version of Nook.
Yo, who needs Thanos in game? I'll just take Terra on Punisher, please. I mean, this man is just... he can take out the Avengers by himself. We're seeing it right now in live 4K. Probably not 4K, but close to it. Vision now coming with the team. The Lanterns are out early. TTK goes up. He goes down. Another great block there as Eternal Bond is coming out to keep the teams both alive. They've been on this on point, syncing these together here. Delina almost getting that pick, but Doom coming down with the Kraken impact instead, trying to get the reset, and it's unable to connect, and it's so close, Vicky.
Off the grapple there, too. You think he could hold forward just a little bit, and then you're met with Vinny in that next corner. The Meteor just trying to find over to the sliver of the pixel of that backline. Does not find it here, and instead Terra will have another Final Judgment coming into this next fight.
Yeah, we've been saying whiff Nito. You can't say it on that one. I mean, that was such a tough ult to pull off, and if it was, I would have lost my mind here. Look at Terra with the... It's insane. He just got the 5-piece. I just called him the Mad Titan. Well, he returns just like an in-game, pushing the pressure out, and right now it's not even E-limbs. It's just pressure winning the fight.
Is it fair to call it a Final Judgment when you have Judgment after Judgment? The Kraken, though, the Doomed coming in with the 3K, not even with a Kraken. He's about to approach having that ultimate. It's Vision dealing so much of that damage output, and Doom just being the finishing blow.
Who needs a Kraken impact when you got just 3 bullets? I mean, Doom, go... Look, he froze too. He's like, Jarvis, clip that. I know I'm not Iron Man, but get the job done. Great job there for Del. Nuck, though, both strategists ults online. Terra's at 10%, which means, you know, he's probably, what, 15 seconds away from having his. And then TTK's got the Meteor in.
2 big ults to look at. Re-engaging here when you have 85% on the point in progress and in favor of 100 Thieves. Harvey too with the Eternal Bond coming up shortly. SJP, we know that Loki gets that ult so quickly as they try to take a much more roundabout approach into this next point.
Here comes the turret out and the protection from SJP as we saw before. All the ults in favor of Shroud X. If they can get a pick early, 100 Thieves is going to look to collapse on it. They've got everything, though. They shouldn't make any... This is kind of where Shroud X sometimes can be dicey, but nope. Fidel coming down with the... Oh, can he stay alive? He does. That's massive, Vicky. That's going to keep the momentum there. And now Nuck can now use theirs. And here it goes. And Dogman is going to show the return instead. Ooh, great patience from TTK.
That shield just flashing right at the perfect time. Also, huge play from Vinny to try to force out that Eternal Bond, scaring Fidel just a little bit before diving in with the Kraken. Vision once again on fire. The dynamic duo between Doomed and Vision to find the first 2 picks.
Insane perfection by both teams, but somebody has to break it. Right now, it's 100 Thieves, 63% to 85. Doomed. It was the Vision show of these two. He just gets the most important picks when needed, and great answer to what has been a dominant SJP on Loki. Not right now.
Oh! Delena looked in one direction, 1 pixel out of line, and that's all she wrote in that point. Doom sending Delena all the way back. Nice little stagger, and already trying to approach the 85% mark from 100 Thieves progress.
When you're on it, you're on it. Look at that beautiful grapple.
No way.
Back into, my goodness, the E-limb there on TTK. Now Vinny's just trying to get in here to get the ult, and he's going to combine with Terra. Can they get a job with only 2 as TTK is out of the mad Vision, though? He's going to get the trade on Delina. This is going to be close, and Terra finally taken down by impunity. It's looking good for Shroud X. There's no portal. This is it. Strange is banned. Can they hold off and get a reverse sweep here on Domination? Dogman, this is his portal, and Shroud X is moments away. They get map 1. Are you kidding me?
No Doctor Strange recontest here. Shroud X and Vision specifically went crazy with impunity to hold down the fort in favor of Shroud X.
What the hell? What timeline are we in right now of this playoffs? It has just been the multiverse. We're in a different. We're not in 616. 616. If you're a Marvel fan, you just know that we are definitely not in an ordinary in these matches. Nothing but the 2-0 show in the group stage. It's been full out. Every team sending everything they have for LAN. Look at Terra, 50K. He does it again. 16 eliminations, but it's not enough. It's a team game, team effort, and Shroud X came up on top.
I want to know how everyone's pick'ems are looking right now, because it's definitely shaken up out here. You know, we were calling this out as being going the distance. Fidel, 78,000 healing. That is okay. And then the 30 assists out here too. Like, talk about the output that we're currently seeing. Dogman really coming alive together with that of impunity versus the Groot specialist himself, Vinny, literally down to the wire and making these adjustments too with the Bucky.
I'm just like laughing. Like, that's all I can say about these stats and performances. Yeah, you said it best. Vegas would have been destroyed here just because the brackets and pick'ems have been in shambles ever since game one started with Decky. And we now have Shroud X. Guys, there's a world where we got FlyQuest, Envy, and 100 Thieves all in the lower bracket. Guys, I talk to these players all the time. LAN means so much to them. I just, on the biggest stage possible right now, it's the underdog story that's telling the tale. It's unbelievable. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Shroud X, they win a big one. They've got another to get the job done.
And I think what this also further highlights is what just a few days of extra practice does for a team. To figure things out coming out of the group stage, seeing what you have to do differently. Of course, you're playing on the latest patch here too, but just working into those strengths, it's just allowed these teams to do a complete turnaround as we take a look at the MVP. Fidel out here, 78.4 thousand healing.
Yeah, that's more than the career healing of like half the bronze, silver, and gold rank games out there. 78Ks, that's just insanity. And the perfection of plays, like, forget the stats. They were crazy, like straight up just buku stats. But the coordination of play there from both teams, just able to not be eliminated, stay alive, and keep this momentum going for their teams. But to go from triple res to, let's face it, the Doom show on Winter Soldier there. I mean, he really was the difference to help feed off SJP.
We also saw like a complete kidnap onto TTK off of Doom getting that grapple pull in, and then we saw Impunity put up the walls just to separate them to force a stagger. I mean, talk about coordination here too.
Both teams were 0-3 coming in off their last match. Now Thieves have dropped the last 4 maps. They're all together. Shroud X, they're not together. I'm pretty sure. This is cinema, just cinema. I've said it how many times now at this point. Guys, every match is electric. We've got another heater coming at you. 100 Thieves, they get to pick the map. They get to pick the mode. If it's anything like history, I guess it's Yggdrasil yet again. We'll have to find out. Don't go anywhere. We've got a quick break. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to match 200 Thieves versus Shroud X. And just like we saw Doomed on that Bucky, the map selection, Vicky, it's the Kraken Impact again. We've seen Wakanda open up. Second map, what did I say? Yggdrasil's Path. Hey, guess what? We're there. We're going to Yggdrasil, of course.
A little bit of deja vu out here. Got to play into your strengths with the way that we're currently seeing the series go the distance already. Like, you talk about all that healing output that we're seeing from Fidel. You have to consider on the other side, Terra just outputting so much damage that you have like Final Judgment 3 times in the span of 1 minute, putting in so much pressure that also works hand in hand into helping out these strategists.
Insanity, as one group of friends was mutants, formed the 100 Thieves dream team, and they're all together. And the other, Shroud X, this is Shroud being the Nick Fury, assembling his Avengers of these guys, and they have just shown that they can rise up as they've done so now as we go into round 2 here, starting off with a big ban. Emma being banned on each side.
No surprise over there. We're gonna see a protect on, okay, the Magneto first here. I was thinking maybe we've been seeing some swap ups in trying to prioritize a lot of the vanguards here. Do we try to keep the Terra Punisher out here. We trying to switch things up a little bit now, looking at the lack of flyers.
Absolutely. Here once again, they don't want to deal. They'll take the land. They don't want the air. Terra, they don't want to deal with the Human Torch who has carried game after game. Getting rid of that, they're saving the Magneto. Dongman doing an amazing job, honestly, that last match.
Yes.
And definitely a bit better than the group stage where we left off. Wolverine being banned, Terra, no wool for you as well, but Punisher being banned in reverse. Same bans and same duelist bans at that.
Okay, for a note, protecting the Cloak and Dagger once again, I believe here too. And yeah, Dogman, you highlighted just a really big highlight. Denying the opportunity for him to Doctor Strange, though, was something that we had to look at. I'm wondering here on the other side if we're going to see that again.
Yeah, we've got the Cloak and Dagger, the Cloak and Dagger save. Love that. Well played here. The Loki ban into it would definitely, you know, Nuck just is such a sensational player on the other side there, and does get banned after all. Does get the ban, so going to change things up a bit. That is going to open up Human Torch to them if they want to go that route. They're saving Loki, though, which honestly, I think they're fine after the Bucky Barnes show we just watched.
Yeah, definitely agree. Okay. Looking very similar in terms of the safety picks here in favor for 100 Thieves. And then on the other side, it's, again, very similar, just minus the fact that now you won't have Loki on board if you're looking at Shroud X.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I mean, it's so tough now because you lose essentially a full team fight when Strange is not there. We've seen that time after time. I think, I believe it was FlyQuest Tech, and we saw 3 team fights, almost 4 before that first point got taken on Yggdrasil. So no Strange there is going to definitely shut down what they want to do. TTK flashing Magneto. I think there's some anger there. He wants to play Strange. He loves that Eye of Agamotto, the big setup, the big potential. But hey, you know what? He's also pretty good with the Master of Magnetism.
And this digs into what we've been mentioning within the last 2 series. These target bands specifically, TTK is known for that Doctor Strange. Obviously, the Magneto too. TTK in general is a fantastic player, but taking away that Doctor Strange as we get to see how tight our chat preds are looking like. Chat, how are you guys feeling? Because we are in it for the long run. Cozy and I, we have been ready, strapped in for the ride that we get to witness, and they still have 100 Thieves coming in.
5 hours thus far, and this has been our closest prediction yet of today, 55-45. It's razor thin with 100 Thieves having slight crowd favor, but that doesn't matter. What matters is right here, right now, we've got 100 Thieves on the offense. Shroud X electing to go with that triple Vanguard that we've seen these teams pushing forward, allowing them to have 3 different points of contention.
I think it's also worth to highlight with Vision being on this Ultron with no Loki, where Loki gets ultimate so quick, you won't be able to have these quicker resets as the first pick is onto Impunity.
Yeah, and honestly, Shroud X couldn't have played better that first match. They're going to have to do the exact same here. Impunity went crazy on the grid there, matching Vinny's play, but Dongman and him going down together. That first hold, first of the 3 going down to Terra and the shotgun.
Terra's upset. I feel like there's just anger radiating through the computer right now, and Terra is locked in. I mean, you saw the damage output coming out of Terra. You saw how many judgments we had right there, too, from the Punisher as we get the portal back in.
Yeah, again, Terry he doesn't ask why, he just asks how many he needs to eliminate. You can feel the anger on his side as there we go, we got the portal, but oh my gosh, the opening from Vinny right into the Terra final judgment. This is going to spell disaster and a graveyard as Terra goes for 1, 2, make it 3, 4. It's a team wipe.
But we're going to stop him.
Didn't know Punisher was working the lawnmower, literally mowing down the rest of this team with a follow-up off of the group hug from Vinny on the Groot. And that was not just looking on, right? You had the Eternal Bond, but there isn't really much you could do in a situation like that when you're caught.
Yeah, Terra 5% to ult. He'll be having ult here any second now. And then we've got, I mean, Terra bringing bullets to a hero fight. They all have superpowers. Doesn't matter. He's still one. Doom now switching over to... This torch is going to be interesting here, especially with Terra. Can he get the pressure on him?
Terra and Delena, right? With, you know, the goddess of death out here, too. Being on that Hela as the follow-up, just trying to keep the sustainability with these eternal bonds. Here comes the meteor, though, right through the invisible boundary to get line of sight, cutting off Fidel, who won't be able to get involved with that own invisible boundary.
I've watched hundreds of maps of 100 Thieves into Yggdrasil.
Oh my.
Played this map to pure perfection. Look at Vinny. The whole team is playing angry. Guess what? They're all together to talk about this in person. They are going lights out. I mean, you can see it there on the new player feed that we have down there. Just seeing these guys' reaction, their calm coolness. They're upset they dropped that first map, and they're looking to make things tied up.
I can't tell if Vinny's upset or calm and collected, literally holding forward. I heard that if your forehead touches the screen, you'll just end up playing better. Just a gamer tip right there too. Or better gamer cheer out here as well, as you control some of this open sight lines here specifically, as Terra is on this turret.
Yeah, Terra describes himself as just a man from Canada, but my goodness, he's definitely anything but peaceful there on the Punisher. But we do have Doom going in with the Supernova, throwing down the tornadoes. We've got ourselves sunny skies with a chance of fire tornadoes as he's trying to get a pick early, but right now it's just space making as the team's getting backed up.
And at the fire extinguisher, because now you also worry about Terra now activating the last judgment over to the other side, forcing Shroud to wrap around and take for cover, getting out of the line of sight. That is this judgment. Also the protection, the following up, and the space control from TTK, who also has that meteor.
Now forget Vanguard for space making. I mean, Derek does it best there with the final judgment, forcing the full team to rotate there. But Impunity does get the trade on the tree versus Vinny, and Dogman goes up. We've got TTK up. One's going to slam down, and it's TTK as the lanterns keep the team alive. 400 Thieves.
And a little bit of revenge for Vinny, who was sent down at the hands of Impunity, who, by the way, also had that prison entanglement. Terra is able to find Vision following up right afterwards, and it's just controlling more of this space through this internal bond. The invisible boundary, too, at least coming in from Fidel with no worry of another meteor from TTK after he had just used it.
Yeah, right now, a little bit of a mess here. Shroud has got to get themselves together. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get to this point. They should definitely be able to get here. They've got enough ults now. They can maybe combine the group hug with the fire tornadoes. They've also got Kraken Impact, so they have plenty at their disposal. But the meteors are ticking down, and here comes Supernova. Doom throwing it down on SJP and the Loki. Meteors ticking by here. Maybe they're going for backhand. Terror going inside might be the worst place to go, but final judgment's coming out.
Now you get to mow down through all these wooden walls in front of you. 99 wood cutting in favor for Terra to melt that down, and that's what Nook being able to bring Impunity right back. Fear the one, fear the meteor that disappears, and a huge ending blow onto Vision, who thought they could finally see, but Terra is still alive on this point.
The Kraken Impact was about to make an impact, but no, it ended up being Terra. He goes inside the small room, and out comes 5 eliminations. This guy is freaking insane.
Look, is he like, it looks like he was dancing a little bit, just like side by side, lips pursed right now. I love that we have these player camps. It's been my favorite addition going into playoffs.
They just don't move. They're just so calm, cool, collected here as Terra just, you know, eliminates them down like dominoes here. W keys held on, and for Shroud X, it's the S just trying to keep this momentum. It was trying to change the momentum. Turret's gonna make it tough to do that. TTK moving in. If we look at the ults, he's got that meteor in. They can combine that with the Goddess of Death here. And Shroud X, they've only got Fidel. Now Nook, they got both strategists ults to respond.
They're going to try to approach, though, creating the pathing off of Nook and this Eternal Bond. Same thing from the other side, though, as they trade paths to Terra, though, with the final judgment, the protection with the Magneto bubble, with the Magneto walls, and the Groot walls, melting everybody down to let it to follow TTK to clear up that space here, as 100 Thieves are holding forward to stop Shroud X from coming out of these spawn room doors.
Yeah, it's Terra time. You know, check the watch because it's here, and my goodness, what an absolute... You only need really Vinny and him to get the full team wipe, and the precision and the accuracy and the calm, cool collectedness now as they push these turrets down. This is the last hope for Shroud X. They've got 2 minutes left to defend.
They're here, synonymous to Earth, and putting them in the ground on this Punisher too. The Eternal Bond is to help create the pathing here, as Fidel falls so incredibly low, cannot stay alive. They try to come out with the res composition, the change it from Shroud X, but it may be too little too late, as 100 Thieves hold them back once again to get this to the finish line.
It just absolute anger, perfection, exactly what you want if you're a 100 Thieves fan. And frankly, that hold wasn't even close, unfortunately. Now, again, Shroud X, they can respond. They're going to have to do an insane job at it, but 100 Thieves got to pick the map. This is their home court. They felt good here, and it showed.
All right. They were able to also wrap around, deal with what they needed to do. Terra still getting enabled, even looking at Shroud X, who tried to pull out something differently with a res composition, but was very, very last minute before 100 Thieves were able to set up Terra with those sightlines being on the turret, and also cycling through those ultimates with TTK having that meteor at the end.
Yeah, I like these slight adjustments here. Vision not locked in though, so we'll see. Okay, he is going to end up going with the Human Torch. 24k and 16 eliminations for Terra, and no no deaths. Just a regular day at the office there for Terra. 37-0. Frontline, backline, he's the headlines. Insane. But I do like the switch up here from Shroud X. They're going to try something different. Doom maybe going in the backline a bit more, trying to get rid of him instead. Forget the strategist. Take down the Punisher.
When the Punisher has 16 final hits and hasn't died, by the way, SJP nor Terra have gone down once. I would love to get a final judgment counter on the screen because we had seen that so many times. At one point, Terra had like 90% still left for an ultimate at the very end, and we just saw that.
Absolutely. Here now we've got the inverse. Now Terra trying to get those turret action on. Shroud X looks to get their offense approach and what they can do. We've seen this team pull it together and quickly as Doom now trying to get that early shotguns and get that cook. And Doom is going to maybe take this back right now. Yes, he is going to take the back flank to see if he can get himself a pick.
Sneaky, looking at SJP. They did hear it, though. They did hear the Psylocke looking over to the other side. Still just trying to deal with Delena, who is literally one shot, by the way. Doom splitting more of that attention from the backlines of 100 Thieves while still also focusing on their frontliners.
Yeah, great job there and just trying to farm up what they can of the ult poke here. SJP getting closer, 68%. Harder to follow. Fidel and Nuck are about in the same spot here as Vision throwing down and getting those firewalls up to push this team back. He's looking to see if he can pick Terra, at least make him uncomfortable to get the pressure out the front line. Something great that Human Torch can do here in Rivals, and they are getting their space here.
SJP is going to ult first, of course, having that God of Mischief just as quick, being on that Loki before now creating that path, allowing 100 Thieves to play all the way up on this defense before backing away as Shroud X may need to look at some changes here before trying to dive right back in. They do have 3 ultimates to work with.
Yeah, they've got the strategist ult. You know, Harvey can match that. Vinny's gonna be able to throw in the group hug. You know, Meteor M. Oh man, yeah, Meteor M can definitely get some usage here against Terra, who is at 91%. Now, Impunity though with the big pick on Harvey, who does have the ultimate. This is their window to make the difference here. But Vinny to Lin and get the trade off instead. Terra to ult. Dogman deciding he's gonna save that Meteor M for the defense, but instead they're gonna let this team fight kind of work itself out.
It's the fact that Terra just controls so much space and respect, trying to back away as the focus with the butterflies come into, and Doom finds SJP and Delena. Doesn't get the target onto Terra, but still forces the rest of 100 Thieves back.
Honestly, perfection there, not having to use a lot of their ult economy either, but here it is. Dogman's got to nail this. He's nailed some in the tournament, but he's also whipped Nito. Can he get the connection? No, it hits the top of the door.
I got a little scared when that shield went down, by the way, even at the very lip of that choke here, as we see another Meteor. Now this time TTK finds Doom instead, turns all the way around, ring around the rosy, as Vision also has to now completely kite away to the rest of Shroud X, but doesn't get away on time as 100 Thieves, they re-engage successfully, leaving only 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock for Shroud X.
TTK showing how it's done with the LeBron slam on what I think was the invisible Doomed on Psylocke. Insanity. What a great play. TTK does it again. Always seems to connect those. Vinny still has that group hug ready to go. Terra, 65%. Might as well be 100 at this point. Doom trying to go up. He has 74. We've got Cap pushing in now. Nuck can follow with the invisible boundary. And here is the Grudel.
Grudel coming in, the strangling prison, the freeze though onto Vinny, the follow-up from Delena, who's about to have the dance of butterflies. Here comes another attempt here with the Meteor, but misses out. Just Terra coming in with the protection off the Magneto bubble on top of the final judgment. You get enabled by the pathing of the Eternal Bond. Who's tickling me from behind? No other than Vision being on this Ultron.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dogman, we're kind of seeing the same song and dance as we did in the group stage. Unfortunately, cannot get those to connect. Those would be huge, but the bubble bursts, and so does Shroud X on that fight. 30 seconds left, and right now it's looking like all 100 Thieves looking inevitable on their home court.
Don't worry, you can ban that Doctor Strange. A lot stronger when you take a look at domination. But here on map number 2, it's a different look as we get the nice little side-by-side from production. The Ultron trying to call them out. Do you find it? Delena knows something's about. Do they find the Ultron, though, that's on the roof? As Delena cannot find it.
My goodness, now as Delena pushing it, SJP able to keep things alive for them. Doom, though, this is a huge pick if they can get it done. CTK does not get the connection. That opens up the window here. And can they get Vision to get an important... Oh, man, unable to get the connection there either, as Fidel now keeping the team alive. Doom's going to have to make the most of this dance of the butterflies. The Psylocke ult, he's coming from the top, going to the bottom. Activates the ult, does not connect. They're spreading it, but they do get the follow-up on SJP into Terra. And at this point, Vicky, they could get the job done in overtime.
When Vision was hiding up in those trees, don't worry, you're gonna have to keep an eye out for that yourselves within your own respective games, because the extermination, even with Vision going down, was just enough for this overtime to take away to allow ShroudX to at least get to this first checkpoint.
They're both digging in, clawing back, throwing haymakers, and the battle continues. Nothing left there but instinct, grit, and the job was done there from ShroudX. I think as we look at Dogman just looking completely composed here as they head into the second point.
Atlanta just could not find Vision there, and even with Nook going down, almost having that invisible boundary, you now make the swap over to the Cloak and Dagger. You still have 50+% to your next ultimate off that slight reset. Atlanta also trying to approach alongside with Terra now with the Judgment.
Yeah, here as now they're just trying to peel back. I actually like this approach and not waste anything. They're now chasing the Terra, just trying to get around this corner. Here comes Johnny, but instead it's Terra. Look at them come around the backside here, and Vision now trying to get a pop-off. They have an extermination. Will they pop it now as the Dance of Butterfly comes out from Delena? Looking for a pick, does not succeed, trying now to escape. And at this point, everybody hanging on to the wall. Great patience there. Nuck throwing down the internal bond. Vision pushing back. Dogman with another Meteor M can make a huge connection here.
Gotta look as scary as John Nicholson from the Shiny. LeBron dunk on dunk here. The extermination now from Vision to isolate Delena, who still can not find this number onto Vision. Vision constantly has been able to get away with playing much more of these different angles, flanking around the back end of 100 Thieves.
Tick, 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 though, goes the time. We got a minute left here, and able to get, luckily, Delena there, but the internal bond coming out just at the right time from SJP. Now pushing forward, Vinny backing up a bit. They do have the integral person here. Doom, this is going to be a major dance of butterflies. Can he get this backline? Can he get the job done? They also have a Fate of Both Worlds. Here it is. Here's the backline hit. It's going to force the lanterns, but he does get the pick on Delena.
Even with the lanterns out and about from SJP, Delena going out first is huge with the impact that Delena's had on the damage output alongside with Terra, who, by the way, has another Judgment, and Harvey close to that eternal bond just to help enable Terra here. They need to do everything all into a shish kebab of the group hog instead. Just a matter of time before you send Fidel all the way back, and now less than 25 seconds on the clock.
Who's counting? But precisely 1 trillion bullets right into the heads, right into the domes there, unfortunately, for ShroudX. And again, that's all it takes for this team. Little Vinny, little Terra, deadly duo here. ShroudX, though, they've got 11 seconds. The portal, they're going to go in with the Meteor M. They've got the extermination as well. They can do this.
Re-engagement coming in as well here. Dogman with the Meteor, Vision with the extermination. Tries to find it smart. The Lance have come out at the perfect time just for that quick reset. You still have to look to the other side. We're losing out on impunity, losing out on Nook. Here comes the Meteor. Doesn't find it smart here once again from Dogman. Instead, it's a trade-off from both ends, and it's TTK that plants their feet. King of the hill on this Magneto. Try to target ban that Doctor Strange again as 100 Thieves hold back ShroudX.
Absolute insane timing there from Harvey to keep the team alive from Dogman. Finally going to connect on a huge ultimate and the slam down from the Meteor M. I mean, that looks all like 100 Thieves. I saw Vinny at one point, and I swear the scowl, I could feel it from here. Just anger as Terra shoots the grenade launcher, and the stats show and rain down a casual. Let's see what the stats hold up on the damage there as we go 1-1 with these teams. Every match so far, Vicky, is a 2-1. Terra went 54-1, folks. 43K, 24 limbs. Look at the whole team. They did insane.
43K. Oh my goodness. 54. And what? Look at the difference on the other. Like, Dogman's Meteor was disappearing. It looked like a Skittle with the way that it was getting melted down by that Judgment from Terra. But this is what you have to do. You have to enable the key players to your chess game here. You have to be able to get the checkmate if you can as quickly as possible. And at least you do it here for map number 2.
54-1 is insane.
Like, what?
You might be asking yourself, why don't they just ban Punisher? Clearly, he's been popping off. Here's the thing. no pun intended. They lost to Nemesis in a reverse sweep to Human Torch, just carrying for that team. And Terra can also play Torch. And so they don't want to lose that way. So you can only, you got to pick something here. They're going to be picking, unfortunately, the Human Torch. But they've been banning Strange. I'd almost give that. Terra could play everything, but right now, Punisher did such light work of this team.
Back to back too, because even though they didn't take that first map, like Terra was still the problem. That's what we were wondering, like Doctor Strange, the re-engagement on more of these Dom map ones makes total sense here. But in this case, it's a little bit of a different story, and you still have these open sightlines when you go over to Asgard that you have to consider when it comes to dealing with the Punisher.
Yeah, and how much can you focus on one player too? Because they're already doing Wolverines, like they're already trying to take some attention that direction anyway. And so it's like you can't ban them all. There's too many duelists in the game, and we're about to, I'm sure, get even more here as we're just looking at the Terra highlight reel. And Vinny, honestly, nice to see him kind of come back into form. I would say, his group play has always been known as the GOAT. In the group stage, maybe wasn't there all the way. Definitely has come back more into form there as we look at Terra. Just a kid from Canada, as he quotes, insanity, as he has his eyes locked in for land. But who can do it? Is it Shroud X or 100 Thieves? Vicky.
It's nonchalant. It's just nonchalant vibes here from Terra, looking at the player cams as well. With one more map to go in a best of 3, it could be a mix and match. It definitely depends on how we're going to see the ban and safety system.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the game is spoken of there. Again, Shroud X, they get to pick the map. Typically, I've seen them now, 5 times? Like, when they pick the map, they go Araco. They've been doing that a lot. They like that map. They like the way they can play there. Maybe we see that. Nemesis did pretty strong against them, though. So, I don't know if they figured out a new strategy or what they want to try to pull off there. 100 Thieves, I mean, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, they barely lost that domination, too. They're playing with anger, vengeance. They're all together here. This is going to be one of the... We've seen some crazy game 3s. This might be one of the craziest, guys. Match number 3 is about to be underway. Don't go anywhere. Quick break, and then we're on to the madness. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to match 3, our third of the day. It's Shroud X versus 100 Thieves. The break is over, Vicky, and for one of these teams, the upper bracket.
And another game 3 situation. We're following the trend here, Cozy. We were overdue, honestly, and it's all being made up here to start off the playoffs. But man, what a way to turn things around. You got to get rid of the Punisher. You have to get rid of the... But is it a lose-lose situation? Like, Terra is just also just insane on other heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the man can play it all, and we've seen time and time again, these match 3s, all teams just leaving it all on the line here. 100 Thieves, I've talked to many of their players, and they want to make land so bad, or maybe, just maybe Shroud X gets there. Will Shroud join them in China? We'll have to find out, and we will find out at least part of that story right now. It's match 3. Shroud X won, 100 Thieves won, and we head into Shroud X's choice of the map, Vicky, and would you believe it's going to be Wakanda?
Okay, Hollow Dahlia coming in. We got moving on to the convergence side of things, as we already just saw Convoy for map number 2. And this is the pick and ban phase, where things really need to be reevaluated right now.
Yeah, we're gonna see if they change it up. It's always been Human Torch right here. We're gonna see if they indeed switch it to... They probably gonna stick with Human... No, they go Wolf this time, which is just out of order of what they've done thus far here. The save gonna be going to Magneto for Dongmin again. Oh, sorry, we're on 100 Thieves going for TTK. They're swapping it up here. Wolverine being banned for Doomed.
And a double protect too on the Magneto. Again, no surprise. It's the... Okay, it's the Wolverine v Wolverine ban, though, from both sides. I like this.
Yeah, they're switching sides. Shroud X has been on top there, but now they've both got Wolverine ban, Punisher ban on both sides. Final judgment.
Are we taking to the skies this time around? Is that what we're gonna see here as the protect onto Loki, also really helping them out?
Dude, watch Shroud X here, because if they get rid of Human Torch here, they're gonna give Luna and Loki to the other team, and that's just so tough on this map. Ooh, the group ban on Vinny. I was not expecting that.
Okay, that's interesting right now too, because are we going to save the Loki Luna here? How are we gonna play it to our strengths on the other side?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just right away, them having Loki Luna is going to be insane. They're going to save the Strange. I actually like this pick for this map. It's going to help them out a ton. And just gives you that one extra shot on a very hard map to cap here. Last ban coming from 100 Thieves. And they're getting rid of Loki. So no Nuck on Loki. And this is, man, this is quite the big ban phase. Quite the difference.
Saving Doctor Strange. This is interesting because we changed up some things. You get rid of the Loki this time around, but this also just opens up the gates here for 100 Thieves. We know Vinny on that thing, Delena hovering over that Ultron, TTK as strong as we've seen TTK on the Doctor Strange, even stronger in Magneto in this current meta.
Yeah, funny enough, I was just about to say Delena really locks in Hela, and we've seen most teams have that other duelist go to Ultron when they have the flyers available, but we haven't seen that so much from 100 Thieves. So Delena stepping into the role and having his own Age of Ultron here to match Terra in the skies. But you get rid of the imprisonment, the group ult together, and that's going to help out a bit with the supernovas. But we're going to find out the story very quick here. This first point usually tells a good chunk of the story. It was 55 to 45% prediction wise. Look at what momentum does.
All right, you saw that, by the way, in the very back, the Preds coming in from chat, 75% in favor here for 100 Thieves. The crowd is rallying behind them, but Shroud X have the potential chance to completely change. Oh no. Oh, okay. Well, getting shot up from the middle of trying to use this portal. But hey, this works in favor of your support ult at the very least.
I was about to say, Fidel just farming ult at this point, but hey, in return, Delena already up to 23%. Nothing's even happened so far. They're going to take the point to the portal to the point to use it as a faux wall here. Kind of an awkward angle on the staircase there for the team, but they get things figured out here. Not the start you exactly want here as Vinny's going in with the Venom.
With the res composition coming out from Shroud X, as well as Terra taking to the skies, hailing down with the damage output, still finding Doom before Doom can try to get away, but this is what the res comp does in terms of these resets to try to re-engage.
Yeah, you give Terra one of the best duelists, especially right here, right now in Ignite, and he's going to ignite and explode. Flame on, game on. You've got Terra throwing it out here, but immediately Fidel already with the Eternal Bond, and the 100 Thieves won't have anything to match it yet. They need to win this part of the fight.
Before looking on the other side, Delena still putting in a little bit of that poke pressure being on this Ultron. You talk about winning this fight, you talk about the damage output. Vinny, literally a pixel of health, managing to stay alive for now too, while the rest of Shroud X just try to hold 100 Thieves over to that other side.
Yeah, but it's that time. We have Delena now with Extermination, putting the pressure right back at him. And at this point, we have essentially a triple res comp coming from Shroud X to see if they can keep the momentum as high as possible. Doom throwing out the big damage, and into it, we've got SJP's Eternal Bond and every other ult to follow.
With the Mantis ultimate, though, they try to re-engage, but they still lost out on Dogman first, and this is with an elongated fight. This is inevitable when it comes to res comp, but the time is ticking away. Yes, you still have 2 minutes on the clock, but they're still trying to struggle on figuring out some of these essential picks.
Yeah, but Harvey's got the ult to counter the legendary here. He's got to try to get a pick early, but they also have TTK to absorb the bullets, and the element gun's unable to get the job done as now TTK goes up. He lands down, and as he does usually, gets the connection. That's a beauty, my bad, on that hit there, and that's what Loki does best, keep the team alive.
Huge first pick onto Dogman, who goes down without even taking advantage of the Eye of Agamotto that he now has. And now the Supernova from Terra, the damage output, yes, they lost out on SJP. They lose out on both strategists. Delena, though, still taking to the skies to help them out, and they will have the Extermination for that re-engagement from Shroud X.
Yeah, they've got 2 ticks here on the point, putting that pressure on, making Terra go off. Maybe it's pressure and space making that can get this point earned for the team here. We have an Eye of Agamotto ready. The point's there, and they're going to get it. That's a huge win for Shroud X to get the momentum started.
We're going to see a possible swap because that was Delena going out in the middle of trying to pop that Extermination. You heard like the first 3 letters come out before getting taken down, but it's a big reset here for 100 Thieves, even bigger for Shroud X to control that next space.
Yeah, no 99 wood cutting needed here. When they get rid of Vinny and Gru, they really have to force to change up their comps and what they try to do here. Vinny now going over to the Thing, trying to figure out a new comp that they can roll with. Delena, obviously crazy on Hela, but flexing a bit into Ultron. Vision, though, has been pretty crazy on Adam from what we saw in the MRI MRC.
Gathering around, though, is going to be Nook leading the rest of Shroud X up ahead. You talk about the Eye of Agamotto, though, finds Vinny and Delena instead. Vinny going down is huge because you were building up into that clobbering time. Meanwhile, taking the skies, TTK, when it matters, finds its mark onto Doom before the reset comes in once again from this res comp.
Threads the needle there on Dogman's shield. He had it perfect, but unable to get the job done. SJP is putting the internal ball now, giving his team all that pressure to push forward here. But in response, we have Fidel doing the exact same. Vision, it's all on him. We saw with Kurova. You've got Born again, and they can win again if they pull it off correctly. And here we go. We've got Terra throwing it from the sky, the legendary to match, and he can get rid of Terra up. A great mag bubble there from TTK.
Oh, you talk about 99 wood cutting. How about putting a stop to any 99 fire making instead? Putting a shutdown to the supernova. And then Delena wrapping around with the extermination. The res now coming in big plays from Vision. Putting a stop to everything Delena just worked for.
Perfect job, as we just saw from the last match 3. We've got a massive res from Vision, even after the Delena triple elim with extermination. Insane job from Shroud X.
Can't believe it. It's just the zombie comp. The zombie comp strikes again. You put down the double portal, by the way, blocking any choke pressure. You try to skate by from one slight corner, but I can't see through this guy. Even the body block, too.
This is insane, turning a wipe into a win of the point. Potentially, they have to deal with the Captain America stall as usual. Vinny now swapped to just about every Vanguard. And Agamotto with the pressure back. Doom getting that picked on Delena. TTK, though, goes up. He goes down. He gets a connection to Fidel. Massive pick there. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. Doom, though, getting the trade on Vinny, who's going to be the pest that's stalling the point now. TTK trying to get the job done. He gets now the ability to stay alive in SJP's internal bond.
And that's with through now Nook and that Mantis ultimate take it to the skies. Doom has been popping off and has not been stopping with the Delena going down next. They have to look behind them. 100 Thieves trying to call out the problem that is the Star-Lord too. Having to wrap around over to the other side, and Terra making these desperate swaps over to the Iron Fist 2, building up into that ultimate to then start the re-engagement.
We've got a cheaper town hall showing with Terra here. Now, Vinny, Terra, they're getting the job done. And with all that time off the clock, there's a minute. We've seen this story before with Shroud X. They've got 49 seconds. They've been wiped. The good news is they've got their ults ready to go and close to it at least. And the passives that with it. But my gosh, what a response from 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves will be able to have some answers, though. Looking at the duelist Terra, Delena having both of those ultimates here, just trying to see if they can put a stop to this res composition that is Shroud X. Now less than 30 seconds on the board for Shroud X to get to this next checkpoint.
Yeah, and with that, you've got the Born again. That's going to be so massive for this fight. Again, you can turn a wipe into a win here. Dogman trying to go down, get that Eye of Agamotto. He's got 99 now. It's all the way ready for what could potentially be a huge point-winning ultimate, though. Down to 269. Needs to find his supports. There goes Hella up in the air. Delena raining down the crows. Some blocks from Strange. Vinny, though, getting the pick on Vision. That's exactly what you don't want.
That was a huge pickup. That was a target focus, but Vision comes right back in. But they have to make sure that the good karma does not work in favor for Shroud X. No karmic revival here. Adam Warlock gonna be the problem. As Shroud X, though, find 2 of these picks. Delena getting sent down. TTK missing out on that meteor. Great coverage, though, coming in from Fidel to wrap around the other side. And Shroud X, when the timing was at the very end, at the very finish line, they're still able to get the checkpoint.
With their backs against the wall, they come out swinging, and I would expect nothing less right now in a match 3 that we've seen today. Great response there, getting back, and even with Vision falling, they got that point. Insane work here. They've got 1 minute and 11 seconds to get the third.
These intense last hit situation games right now, they've been incredible. SJP's about to have the God of Mischief. But rallying up together, too, is going to be Vinny with the Freedom Charge to help enable the rest of 100 Thieves, and that's because they lost out on SJP. Big first pick in favor for Shroud X.
Yeah, SJP going down early, and the good news of not using that Vision, they have it for this fight here now. SJP short walk back. Vision, though, does get the pick on Harvey. Both strategists are out. Terra, though, making the impact he always does with the cracking it back down on Dogman. Vinny to wipe right now. All momentum is through the Vision of Vision, able to just go off as the Golden God.
Oh, that always feels good. That always feels good when you yeet that stun up ahead. You get the sleep, keep them at the choke, and look at the space. That damage output combined together with the Mantis is damage boosting Doom.
Yeah, beautiful use of that portal there as a semi-wall. At this point, we have 100 Thieves playing the whole roster, trying to counter what they can do here. SJP is using the ult now. What's left in the tank, Delina's going to be able to throw up the Goddess of Death, TTK to fall with the Meteor in, but to match, Shroud X is everything they need. They've got the Resurrection. They've got the Eye of Agamotto that goes out now.
Oh, still being able to find Harvey, though. It's going to be a beautiful follow-up between Fidel as well as Doom. Taking to the skies, Delina finding that last shot onto Fidel before Fidel could even get away. But here's that Born again from Vision. Yes, you get the revival, but Terra, understanding the assignment, made a swap at the very end, but it may be too little, too late as a respawn also onto SJP, onto the Loki from the Hela.
Terra found Vision, got rid of the comeback there from Cloak and Dagger, but unfortunately for 100 Thieves, the momentum cannot be stopped. Again, call it plot armor. Shroud X getting the full 3 cap against all odds on that point.
We are really going down all the way to the wire with no time in the timeback. This is off of them barely getting to the second checkpoint, and that was with them blocking out the choke entrance with the Doctor Strange portals.
It's just the final act of a Marvel movie. Like, how dramatic are these match 3s coming down to every tick of the wire? We could not stretch best of 3s anymore in all of these matchups. These are the top 8 teams in America fighting for land, throwing everything on the line, and boy, are we seeing it.
I just can't even recall at a time that we've seen a day as stacked as today, and just great quality Marvel Rivals play right now. And changes need to be brought on. They almost fully held them back here. If you're looking at 100 Thieves in the way that they played that, but Shroud X, they took that momentum and they ran with it. Together with that Mantis Soul Resurgence, they just booted all the way forward.
What did I talk about this week on the podcast? The duo that is doomed in Vision. One of the best 1-2 punches in the game as well with Terra and Delina. Vision, though, 7 final hits, 11k damage on Adam purely. Doom with 20k on Star-Lord after the recent buff into the triple res comp. Just beauty.
The battle starts in 5, 4.
Let's see on the other side, Terra usually having a lot more of these final hits. Obviously, Punisher not being on the table for them to utilize, being the problem that it was. You made the swap over to the Bucky at the very end. We're going to see here if we can make this play with the portal off the beginning.
You can feel the tension through the screen. Composure, courage, clutch. Who's got it as the team is portaling in here?
Yeah,
and what a start to Linda with a fast pick.
The way that they were able to just rotate right back here and just completely overtake the free real estate that Shroud X have left before answering back. Doomed coming in with the quick 4K, jumping in from their heads as Dogman, and they put a stop to any portal shenanigans and attempt.
Holy Delina gets the pick early on the MVP, but Doom just absolutely shows ice in the veins, coming back with the 4. Are you kidding me?
Doom knew that basically Doom had to perform right now. After seeing that last game and how close it was in general, like, this is what we like to see right now if you're Doom. Getting that power up too from the Mantis, following up together with impunity on that Captain America.
2 minutes, 50 seconds left here. 400 Thieves doomed, and Shroud X, they got the job done. The barrage is coming in to get rid of those lanterns. One of the best counters to it, but TTK and Terra, the double T's, get the job done and push forward, and all it takes is Terra and the Kraken impact to put on the show and get the point. And right now, it's going to be tough here for Shroud X to get any piece of this. It's going to... Oh, we got the contention there. Nope.
Oh, Terra trying to fall and find impunity. Why are you running? It's just a matter of time. Delina gets a finishing blow here, and they finally start getting this payload moving.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they get rid of the brakes, they rip it off the car there with 100 Thieves, and it just seems like they just plow through the objective they're trying to get here. At this point, though, now we've got TTK leading the charge with the Sorcerer Supreme here. Fidel does have that ult to counteract and get the space needed. Dogman can go into that with an Agamotto, and the response here, Legendary, they just got SJP just in time to counter this.
Enabling Doom, though, to hold forward just a little bit with the Eternal Bond as well from SJP in the form of that Cloak and Dagger. Dogman slowly trying to approach you with the Eye of Agamotto, but 100 Thieves have a lot more to answer back. It really relies on Doom's being here on this Adam Warlock and able to get this res.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have Vinny being able to do a complete defensive effort to stop this legendary, and I think he knows that at this point. Kraken impact goes up, Terra gets 2 down, and that's going to be rough there. But Vision does get that resurrection. Born again, win again is the mentality, and Vision gets the whole team back. Delina getting that pick on impunity doesn't matter, and there it is. Freedom charge. Follow the path painted before them.
Can we talk about the positioning to use that Karmic Revival away from the Kraken that could have gotten a full reset if they hit the whole team there at half health after getting the res, allowing the Red Shotix to try to recombine together and trying to re-engage, but then Delena takes to the skies. Help that with Terra right now being on the Bucky has made all the difference here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, shooting them down like clay pigeons at this point. Absolute chaos from 100 Thieves in precision and accuracy here. Now going in though with the Mantis ult, trying to keep things alive, but TTK ready for the sky, throwing out the magic. The eye sees all and shows all. Delina with the follow-up, and at this point, it's just desperation for Shroud X to try to hold it from 0.2, 1.7 left.
That was off the pressure off of the Soul Resurgence too, and Mantis is still in that ultimate, not even dealing enough to help up Fidel in that equation, while Vinny now moves all the way up, combined together with the rest of 100 Thieves. Vinny does have that meteor, looking to find the mark on the cloak and dagger, but misses it out.
Dell coming at the perfect time to keep the team alive. It doesn't matter how many reses they have, though. Their duelists are getting the job done. We've seen Terra the Terrible just go in after. Kraken impact, make it 3, getting it 4. He's going for the 4th on Vision, and yes, sir, Terra shows what he can do.
Again and again and again we go on the Bucky too, and that's with Vision not having the Karmic Revival for that re-engagement here, but will have it for this upcoming fight.
One button 5 regrets that old, it just has aftershocks, the old quake. I mean, what do you want to call it at this point? From what he's able to do, TTK does have that eye to set the team up. Dogman can match it. 3 minutes and 37 seconds left. It took all of those minutes for Shroud X to get the point.
TTK though, Eye of Agamotto ready to go to Mata against Dogman. Goes the Terror Cape, just trying to find its mark. Walls coming up though from Impunity are just allowing them to control even more of that space next to this close-up choke that they're going to be forced to go through eventually. I'm looking at Nook, yes, with that current Eternal Bond, and the Eye of Agamotto, it's going to be big. It finds 3, it finds Vision, and that's talking about the damage output from the other side too.
And Agamotto got stopped. Unfortunately, was unable to get the job done. Terra and Delina now making it a show and showing the deadly duelists that they are. And that is just absolute disaster. Shroud X had what they needed. Unfortunately, 2 minutes and 53 seconds, and Terra is just taking it to him.
And that's with some last-minute changes too. Look at what we're seeing right now with these swaps. Vision being on the Hella, having that ultimate, no res comp instead. Nook being on the Rocket, but they have to contest here.
Yeah, unfortunately now with a perfect placement of the portals, Nuck though bringing back Impunity. They're just trying to keep the point alive as long as they can. Vision now raining down the Thorns, trying to get something going. He does get the 2-piece. That could be what the team needs. There's 3 meters left. Vinny trades with Fidel at this point. It's going to be close. Can they hold it? Shroud X short walk back. TTK gets the pick there on Vision. This is coming down to the wire. It's land on the line.
And it's Nook on the Rocky with Fidel finally coming back on the Luna. Is it enough healing output? You get pushed back. You don't get the output from the Eye of Agamotto that we saw here from the other side after it finally comes back after getting interrupted. And TTK also having the Eye of Agamotto at the very end, just trying to see if they can work around the shield. And now they have to work about the Sia.
Whip shot as the Agamotto goes down. It does not connect, and in return, they can follow up here. We have Impunity going in to stall longer. This is chaos erupting in front of your eyes. Both teams competing. 1 minute, 44 seconds on the clock. Vision with the Elim on Terra. That's a massive pick and the pick against this 100 Thieves team. But Vinny, once again, trading with the Vanguard. Short walk back, though, for this team. Nuck bringing back Dogman. And now at this point, they can continue the fight. They have to also watch the point. Don't want to Shroud 9 and Vicky. Everything's on the line.
Oh, but it's not enough healing output. Delena finds Impunity with Dogman slowly approaching another Eye of Agamotto, while Harvey has the Eternal Bond with the Cloak and Dagger. It keeps this fight going for even longer. It's been more than 20 to 30 seconds, but a huge terror came onto Fidel.
Fidel goes down. He's 97% to ult. That could have been everything for them. Can they keep it going on? Vinny's going up. He's going down, and that's going to be able to do the job for 100 Thieves. They had what they needed, but they did get a lot of time off to at least make this more of a fair fight. My God, what a last point.
Nobody has time. This is crazy. 2 minutes, a minute on the other side. Like, what has been these last few second exchanges prolongating these fights?
Dongman was on that whipping and shooting at one point for like 20 minutes. I mean, I'll be speaking out of a tube tomorrow. Absolute chaos erupting. Just insanity, Vicky. Now, looking at what we have into both teams getting that third point, I mean, at this point, it's anyone's match. Terra, though, playing with just absolute vengeance. We're going to see what Shroud X can do. They're going to set the bar first here on offense.
Have to. You have to with the Bucky when this is what works against the res comp. I'm thinking that currently Shroud X are probably going to try to use more of these Moon Knight Portal shenanigans coming out of the gates here, but more so focusing on Terra now finally upping those final hit numbers. I believe before that round it was like what, like 8 final hits. Now look at the difference, night and day here with 25 final hits, nearing 40k damage. And even looking at TTK and the damage output from the Doctor Strange, we're wondering, well, why use that ban on the Doctor Strange? Well, you can't cover everything. You have to focus on the Punisher or even the Doctor Strange in favor for TTK.
Yeah, and Delina getting those all-important picks too, has plenty under him. Fidel's got like 70k healing. He's about to hit 6 figures if done right here. We've got a minute for Shroud X, 2 minutes, and honestly, this point can easily take 2 minutes, so it's going to come down to the perfection of play here as Dogman, we can see him locked in right now, throwing that portal down, and the team goes in, and they try to get that Moon Knight strategy to work, but he's swapping back over quickly to Star-Lord, Terra, and friends, pushing back hard there into this initial point. Interesting way to take and approach this first point here. And right now they're doing the job.
And a little dizzy there when they saw that their choke point was just getting heavily contested though, so they just wrap back around down the middle, and with a lackluster time bank, they have now less than 30 seconds to try to approach.
Both teams, they want it so bad. Strategy at a maximum. Here's Dogman, takes the high ground, looking to try to get some wiggle room as he jumps into the point. Team following behind him here. Fidel at 62%. Watch that ult charge. On the other side, I think 100 Thieves pretty far away. So if they can get Fidel at 100%, which he's creeping towards closely without anybody falling, they can definitely make this thing happen. Doom goes down, but he does have the passive to come back, Vicky. So they do got that triple res comp at their advantage. Doom comes back, Vinny. Dogman is going down, Vicky. This is tight.
The Dogman doesn't have the same ability in this case, and Vision doesn't have that res, but with Fidel approaching that eternal bond to utilize it now on this point, they get off.
They Shroud 9!
2,
No.
3. Time to switch things up.
Not like this.
Side you're on.
Not like this. Not like this. They came out with the cloak ult too. Unfortunately,
Top-notch team to win this one.
How could this happen to me? I've made my mistakes. With the eternal bond active too. No way. I can only imagine. Those comms probably sound so scattered.
Yep, that's tough. But you know what? You can. Oh man, can you imagine we go do a draw here? I mean, I wouldn't even know what to say, what to process. Oh my gosh, get the defibrillator. But we'll have to see. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to stop Terra here from even getting 1 tick on this point. 42k damage, 50 elims plus by the end of it all. Probably make it 60. 70k from Fidel, doing everything to try to keep things rolling for the team. This is 2 teams that want it bad. 2 teams coming off 3 losses in a row. This would be the 4th. Vicky, it's as tight as you get.
Fidel is nearing 70k healing. The healing output all day today also just needs to be studied. Like, these elongated fights, you get an Agamotto, everyone gets an Agamotto out here. Well, at least if you're in the favor of 100 Thieves with the way that they've been playing especially. But they have extra time in their own time bank. Another chance here for redemption.
Capture the mission area.
Absolutely, guys. We hear a lot about the EMEA and Sparker over there for VP, but my gosh, Terra's showcasing why he's one of the best duelists, if not the best duelist, just in this game. Absolute insane job from him here as teams push forward. They know the assignment, who can get it done. Avengers assembled. Terra pushing up with full aggression. W key might as well be taken down at this point. He's looking for the hook, and the first big momentum changer does not pull it. Nice job there. They've got the cloak bubble to keep him alive, and the sustain of the damage is coming out.
Impunity is being kept alive right now. Look at Fidel, look at Nook here with the healing output of this backlight specifically to build into these ultimates, and it's too much. Combine that with a Terror Cape. TTK gets caught in the crossfire here as JP does retaliate in finding Impunity though, so it's a trade-off for both sides.
Yeah, Vanguard for Vanguard here, but watch Terra's ultimate. All it takes is 1 Kraken impact to get the job done. It's at 95, close to 96. We do have Harvey giving him the path to victory in the upper bracket final. Will he take it and clutch it with it? Not to follow. Doom also has the Kraken impact. This is going to be an absolute fight for the finish. greatness legacy on the line. Dogman unable to get the connection that he so desperately wanted. Doom going down, trying to get his resets. Vicky goes up, tries to get the limb on Harvey, does not succeed, goes down in return.
SJP said, you ain't built like Terra right now. We are moving in rent-free on this point. 100 Thieves down to the wire. Take the series versus Shroud X.
Every single match today has come down to the last moments, the last seconds in the last match. And 100 Thieves has what it takes to move forward in the upper bracket. Shroud X, just like Envy, pat on the back. Great freaking job. Go get it in the lower bracket, the losers bracket. But right now, it's all eyes on 100 Thieves all together in one room, erupting with greatness.
I don't know what a lot of these teams, you know, who fell a little early here, have now put themselves in the playoffs and the seeding that they've been assigned here, but down to the wire, each of our series have gone as we take a look at the total stats. Fidel, yes, still getting the 75k. There's that healing output that we talked about, but SJP with the clutches, the way that they rotate around with Harvey, with Terra making the adjustments here, 27 final hits and 47,000 damage.
48 between the two duelists. I mean, just insanity. SJP getting that pick 2 on impunity really helped pave the path as well. I mean, it was right there for the teams to call it a draw and go into one more sparring match. But 100 Thieves, they get the job done. They rise together as the team, throw away the key as they lock up Shroud X and push him down to the lower bracket. I do have to say, massively impressed here, and it just shows the talent in America. All these top seeds so close. I know going in, some people talk about Shroud X just being an easy team to get in your first seeding. They showed anything but.
Wondering here if the playing in person buff up here, it's gonna just give them the power up that they need in terms of the crazy calm, screaming at each other, the pop off moments that you absolutely know were coming in, but have to give the flowers over to Shroud X with the way that they've also had to make the adjustments between the res comp. Doomed really popping off this game around 2, just having that power up between the mantis, the follow-ups too from the sleeps. But this fight specifically lasted for, we had like what, 3 Agamottos or so being built up here.
Yeah, if not more at this point. I mean, and with the res and the comebacks, it's been absolutely crazy. I mean, at this point, it's like, yeah, playing together in person as a team is a buff that the patch notes no one could expect, right? We saw that with Sentinels. We're seeing it here with the 100 Thieves. You know, maybe the outcome changes of Shroud X's teams together, but right now, I don't think I've been this baffled by one duelist and what they've been able to put out here than in Terra. And Delina, it's just like what I've said with Vision and Doom. Delina's able to get those important pickoffs, and SJP, we've talked a lot about duelists, but he's going to be getting the MVP, getting that alt costume here for 100 Thieves.
And when you have those lamps out too, you seem like a pretty yummy target to try to dive on, but it makes it even harder when you're on that Loki and you build up that ultimate just as quick. You copy the cloak and dagger, and we get to see the trails of these eternal bonds just help these fights stay way elongated, and that's how we get the next farm set of these different ultimates. So SJP coming to live, and I definitely agree with you, Cozy. Delena and Terra both so strong. Terra specifically, though, was hungry for progress here. 27 final hits, and that was off of those last 2 rounds specifically too.
Yeah, I mean, he tweeted after they got swept in the grand finals of the group stage that he left it all out there, and I can say he definitely did the same performance here. I mean, just to go from what was, you know, that team did not at all struggle in the upper bracket that we saw in the group stage, and then out of nowhere they did get the reverse sweep done to them, or not reverse sweep, they got the 3-0. To come back like that and play that strong, great job on them. It shows again what they can pull off as a unit, as a team. This team wants land. I can feel it.
If they keep playing like that and we keep seeing these target bans, and the way that it's worked around was Punisher banned a little too late at that point. We saw the output of damage in the first map alone, then we had to see it again back to back into that second map. But you play to your strength, you know, whether it be that Punisher or we get to see the Bucky instead. I'm happy though here, Cozy, as we get to have our interview coming in.
Yeah, just a kid from Canada, as he keeps saying, and we get to welcome in the man, the myth, the Marvel rival legend right now in Terra. What's going on, team? Happy victory, man. How do you guys feel?
We feel really good after that.
Sarah, I saw your lips pursed together the entire time on the camera feed that we have from you, just all locked in. And after both those performances, just want to say hats off. How do you keep your team composed and all of you guys composed as you, again, didn't struggle in the upper bracket? You go into that last fight, you lose 3-0, but then you come out swinging here.
I mean, the only like regional thing that like I would say is that we only lose to ourselves. Literally, I feel like if we should have not lost 2 maps on against FlyQuest, should have been like a 3-2 or a 3-2-3. Should have been way closer, but we only lose to ourselves, and it's just simple mistakes.
Dude, that 100 Thieves cap shield, by the way, is super sick. Like, what? You guys, I saw you walk to the back, but like, you guys got the setup there. You're out of breath, man. Like, you're insane. You know that you're insane, but the way that you guys just came through against what we just saw as one of the, I mean, I feel like we're saying this constantly because this has been the 3rd back-to-back tightest series that we've ever seen. I mean, what do you think has changed between the time of last week's group stages into now that has made a lot of these games tight? Do you think it's just because we have best of 3?
I don't think it's a best of 3. I think because like there's a lot of stuff that's like open in the game. There's a lot more team comps than that. It's not just one anymore. So there's you can obviously play triple res, you can play triple support with Ultron, you can play Groot combo, you can play just a bunch of more just stuff that a lot more is open. And with this game gets on, people get better and better because they keep practicing and all that.
Listen, man, I mean, how locked in is the squad right now on a scale from like 1 to, you know, lane plane tickets already ready to go? I mean, how you guys, you're feeling, Tara? I mean, I know you guys, everybody wants to make land, but what makes your team deserve the stage?
I mean, I feel like our team deserved the stage. Like, we've been very dominant in almost every tournament. We obviously have hiccups, but every good team has hiccups. Especially like VP. VP had a hiccup in group stage, but they just come back. Like, all the main tournaments. I mean, the main tournament that we really lost is like MRC in that Shroud tournament, but that Shroud tournament was kind of like we had to be up for 15 hours, we had no sleep and all that, and we are on stale for 5+ hours, just no warm, no nothing. No teams would be up that time.
Wow.
Dude, I've got to ask, do you have a Lord icon on every duelist? I mean, it seems like you could flex to legit anything. If it's like, okay, they ban the Wolverine, they ban, you know, the Human Torch, then you go off as Punisher, they ban that, and you pull something else out of your pocket, man. I mean, it's tremendous.
I don't have any. I only have 3 lords. I haven't really played ranked for 4 weeks.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. The tournament client just feels way better than the main game client. So I'd like rather just play on the client that we're playing for tournaments and not really the tournament that's a client that's completely different.
Wow. Well, Tara, you've honestly, like, whether it be the focus, a ban onto the Punisher, what were your thoughts actually when you saw that they let the Punisher go through for the second map specifically? Because then they had fixated their attention on that Doctor Strange ban. So what were the comms from your teams when you guys saw that?
I mean, they can, like, a lot of teams now, like, it's just gonna be target banning me. Like, it's just punny wolf, punny anything like that. Just to me, they're just wasting. In my opinion, I think SDX is wasted a Strange ban, and like we only really lost first point to just straight up train cheese and just getting first picked off, and like we should have still won that. We just made one simple mistake. So like if they just ban out like a person that's like that just knows how to play. Like, I'm not just like I can play more characters than just 3, so it's like anything.
That's what makes good teams great, is going out there and just wanting the absolute perfection from your team. And listen, I know you're just a kid from Canada, but you could be a kid in China here pretty soon. You're getting better at these interviews, man, because you're getting a lot of them. We're getting a lot of Terran time, and you're getting more comfortable, man. I know you guys are together tonight. I wanted you to go celebrate as a team. Give my what's up to Delina, Harvey, and all the boys over there, and a big congrats once again.
I have 2 things to say before I head out.
Yes, sir.
During the map, I unironically started tears because I have my hands completely messed up. I'm playing with a messed up hand. So after that, like low-key is just hurting like a shit ton. But I like to shout out to Solaris. They've been our main warm-up for a long time right now. And they're a very underrated team, and I think they deserve more props than what they did and how they did in group stage and seeding and all that, because they really got messed up with their bracket. But they deserve a lot of respect and all that.
one, it's like Jordan's flu game, so insane with the injury, man. I can't even process that. Number two, 100% agree. Solaris, great job. Gail and Guru, the friends, they're all insane over there and definitely had a tough draw there in the group stage, buddy. But either way to rise up, injury and all. I know what it means for you, the team. And buddy, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, and we're excited to watch you tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, go celebrate, buddy, and go rest up, man.